Good morning to everybody watching and welcome back to the sunny side of Morning TV. Good morning to all the grandmas watching this morning. Hello. Good morning to all the grandpas watching as well. Grandmas matter and grandpas matter. So we say big ups to all the grandmas, you know, who helped do the China bump, because yesterday was Sunday. So a lot of times, you know, China bumping, washing the hair, China bump it, and then you have to cut the fingernail them, and you have to do the inspection. You have to look in the ear, the nose, the mouth, say, ah, you know what I mean?
Today's back to school, you know.
Yeah, for some, yeah, you know.
Yeah, today's back to school for pretty much everybody because,
really?
I remember it's term 3. It's the beginning of the summer term.
Ah, that is it.
They were on holiday.
Yeah.
So there might be a little bit more congestion on the road, but
so leave out early. Yeah, or maybe you could just read a book when you're at your office. Yeah, reach in early and read a book so you don't get caught in it. But guess what? Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Whether you're in the 876 or the 971, which is the area code for Abu Dhabi, by the way. Yeah,
oh, yes.
yeah. Today we're celebrating another win for Jamaica on the world stage as award-winning author Kwame McPherson heads to Abu Dhabi International Book Fair as the Caribbean's official literary ambassador. He's zooming in to share with us the significance of this moment, not just for him, but for all of us who believe in the power of Caribbean storytelling. Good morning, Kwame. Welcome to Sunrise. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Tired, but I'm great. I'm good.
Beautiful.
I'm good.
Now,
Nice.
Kwame, from Kingston to Abu Dhabi, first of all, let's get into, you know, the author that you are. What kind of stories do you tell, and what motivated you to delve into this particular career path?
Good question. But the thing is, storytelling, telling stories found me, really, to be honest. I started out at primary school, Taram Primary, doing the essays, compositions, and poetry. Went to high school, Calabar High, didn't do anything there. Whereas my brother was more proficient there than I was because he was winning awards. After Calabar, I migrated to the UK, and it was actually started whilst I was working in the civil service. Someone had approached me for a poem to be done, a personalized poem for a loved one. I did it, and it says, as they would say, history was in the making from then because they loved it, other people heard, and then it went all around the office. I started to do it as a side hustle, realized I was good at it, getting paid, and I kept doing poetry for a while, and then I just migrated into telling prose. Once I began telling prose, then a lot more accolades came with the culmination of winning the Commonwealth Short Story Prize 2 years ago, which has now brought me to where I am today in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
And I remember we spoke with you at that time. You know, a lot has changed since then. I mean, this wonderful ride of storytelling, you know, when it's still fairly new at the time when we spoke to you. I mean, what's it like now to see where it's taking you? Like, did you ever envision it?
No, I didn't. And like I said, storytelling for me, but I love writing. I love telling stories. I'm a storyteller. I'm a great at. But what I'm finding, though, is that the world is now opening up to our stories, not only from Jamaica, but in the Caribbean in particular. And being in Abu Dhabi is very obvious about that because they're looking to reach out to the Caribbean writers to get more material, because it's like they're becoming more culturally aware that there are other people in the world and they want to embrace that. So the beauty of being here is realizing that our stories, rich, wealthy, vibrant, are wanted, you know, from across the world. And like a place like Abu Dhabi, one of their biggest book fairs, it's very obvious in terms of the discussions that I've been having.
Amazing. Well, Kwame, talk to me about some of the stories that you tell and the stories that qualified you to be in Abu Dhabi now.
Right, the story that won in particular is called Okohe, O-C-O-E-E. That's the one that won the Commonwealth Short Story Prize a couple of years ago. And it's a story about a Jamaican man traveling through Florida, and he has an encounter with the police. And then after that encounter, there's a lot of elements that come into the story, such as, you know, police brutality, about the protagonist's personal journey in terms of his own emotional state, about family, about culture. A lot of that comes into the story, and I guess that's what had appealed to the judges who made it win at the time. And that is what made Abu Dhabi International Book Fair to reach out to me, because, you know, as being a pioneer in terms of Caribbean storytelling in the way what that particular story was told, they liked it, and the invite came for me to be here. So my stories tend to reflect much more from an African-centered perspective, and that means African Caribbean, African American perspective, but the way that the story is written, you would never know until you see particular references made to the individual, and I guess that's what draw and engages readers. Like I said,
it is something that has a global appeal.
Yeah.
The issues of blackness and how we conceptualize our blackness,
migration,
and migration, issues
abuse,
of
racism,
police abuse in the United States, for instance, because of race. All of these things are salient issues, and so you're telling the story from a Jamaican lens. And I find it quite interesting. How has your life, how has Kwame McPherson's life changed, having won these accolades? And now, I mean, other than traveling the world, I mean, but how is life different post winning these awards?
Well, it's almost like an expectation, to tell you the truth. Once, it's almost like, you have a dam, and then once the dam is broken, the water floods the air, right? So I found, for myself in particular, I've had the opportunity to go to Buckingham Palace, meet Queen Camilla, had a discussion about writing, funny enough. I've traveled to Cayman, Miramar, the Jamaica Brew Festival. I'm now here in Abu Dhabi, and I'm being invited back for other events over this side of the world. So I love traveling anyway. So it's almost like, I have a vision board.
Yes. And so for the Bookophiles who want
I'm a vision board that has traveling and so.
Yeah, for those folks who want to follow the happenings in Abu Dhabi, how might they keep up with you? Are you going to be adding to your stories or your regularly?
Totally. Yeah, and social media, Google my name and find me across social media. But this aspect, this part of experience will definitely come out in my writings.
Nice. Well, talk to us, Kwame. What's next for you? Because, I mean, you're over the Abu Dhabi side. What's next for you? What's your next goal or the next diamond that you'd like to add to your accolade you'd like to add to what you have already accomplished?
Well, the short story that won, and I can let this out now, we're now discussing with the UK film company to make it into a feature film.
Oh, nice.
So that looks like the next thing.
Oh, wow.
Aye. Wow. And by the way, Kwame, for those persons who are looking right now, young people who want to write, these things pay? Because maybe you have a young man watching right now saying, I want to be an author like Kwame McPherson. I want to be a literary, author, and I want to do these things. But somebody said, well, them pay.
The young man's parents are telling him
that it don't pay.
That it don't pay.
Right?
Yeah.
Do these things pay? Talk to me, Kwame, about that.
It does, because nowadays, which is interesting, because there's a lot more opportunities for writers today. So, for example, a writer I write stuff in terms of scripts for animation, and people who want to do animators. They're animators who are looking for writers. So you have that kind of thing. You have people who are content creators, and they're looking for writers in terms of writing content. And I mean, big organizations across the globe who are looking for content creators in terms of writing. So there are a lot more opportunities now when I was growing up, really, in terms of what writers can actually get into. And I would encourage anyone to not just limit themselves to be doing work in Jamaica. So, for example, a lot of my work is outside of Jamaica. And I would always encourage them, we're global people anyway, but to expose ourselves outside of Jamaica rather than in Jamaica. And that would mean, going out, creating relationships across particular social media platforms, but it will also mean looking at opportunities. And a lot of opportunities I get come through LinkedIn, for example. So there are opportunities, a lot more opportunities than, like I said, when I was growing up.
Well, congrats to you, Kwame. Yeah, man, all the best, and thank you for representing, and wish you all the best. Thank you. I made them know say Sunrise Tenny, I wrote Kwame. Remember we done interview them, Kwame, so big up Miss Kitty, big up Uncle Dennis, big up CVMTV, Kwame, they're going to watch it, interview them. I'm going to big up. Kwame, I'm going to be in your next story, Kwame.
But hey, I just talk about representing. When he came in studio, I noticed something. I noticed something. Him always I represent Calabar.
Okay. All right. Bye, Kwame, on that note.
Many thanks to our guest. We've been talking with Kwame McPherson for carrying the Caribbean spirit to the world. After the break, we're going to be talking real life, real talk, and how to guide big conversations at home with Red Stripe.